it's a very eclectic space, right? You have some people in governments that are very welcoming and open, and some that essentially, don't want you to come anywhere near them, right? And I'll give you an example. When we were in Cameroon, so the Cameroonians had an interesting problem. They had a little bit of a civil war going on. They have an Anglo-speaking and Franco-speaking population. So the English-speaking population was essentially rebelling against the French. Or maybe it was the other way around. I can't remember. Anyway, the rebels were attempting to raise money for their revolution, and so they launched an ICO. And so the government, their first entree into this space was, we have people in our country raising money with cryptocurrency to overthrow the government, right? So we went in there and had some interesting conversations to help advise them. And interestingly enough, the president of that country had been elected he had won every single election for the last 38 years. And in one of the conversations I had with the ICT minister, she said to me, which is Internet Communications and Technology, she reported directly to the president. She said, we're interested in blockchain in all of its use cases, except for elections. Our voting system works just the way we like it. So what I would say is, you have some places in the world where there's deep corruption, where blockchain is really needed. That's the last place where you're probably going to get it, because the system is going to fight you. There are other places in government where there's relatively low corruption. And quite frankly, that's where you have the easiest time to get in there. And it's important to understand that blockchain is still a very new, untested technology. There's still a lot of problems with it. And you want to kind of go where the easy ones are first, right? Because that's where you have you can make the mistakes. That's where they'll give the slack. You can kind of glow with it. You can prove out your technology, right? But you want to find those nooks and crannies where there's places in government where people are open, receptive, welcoming, right? And I'll give you an example. In Utah County in the United States, they've used blockchains for voting. They've used them for marriage licenses. They're about to use it for another technology. So one of the commissioners there is very positive about it. But the key, and I also think Anton's definitely on one thing, focusing on state and local first, right? Where the barriers to entry are smaller. It takes a lot of energy to turn an aircraft carrier compared to a rowboat. So I'm a big fan of letting people know, find the people in government, in the smaller governments, right, that are willing to test things out. If you have a failure there, it's a lot different than having a failure with, say, NASA or Department of Defense or Social Security. But that's sort of the strategy that I would use, and we help connect people to that.